The government has just released a new AI chatbot designed for tax advice that is getting the most basic things wrong and causing people to submit their tax returns incorrectly. So in this video, I'm going to cover exactly what this chatbot is, the basic things it's been getting wrong so far, why this is dangerous, and what you should do instead so you don't end up thousands of pounds out of pocket. On the 15th of May, the government launched an AI chatbot. So instead of sitting there searching Google and the government website to find what you need, you can ask the bot a question and it will draw from 80,000 pages of government information to give you the answer you need. The government have been raving about this tool. They even called it the most comprehensive government-built chat tool in the world and said it had been tested essentially to destruction. They're also claiming 90% accuracy in testing, which might sound impressive, but that means that 1 in 10 responses don't fully match official guidance. If we said to HMRC that our tax returns were 90% accurate, do you think they'd be happy with this? Or would they still give you a fine for submitting an incorrect tax return? The idea of the chatbot is to reduce pressure on their call centers, which makes complete sense because no one wants to sit there listening to their waiting music for the best part of an hour.
Thanks for waiting. One of our advisors will be with you as soon as possible.
HMRC is saying that the bot provides information about government services, not guidance or advice, which again sounds pretty reasonable, but if you're asking it a tax question and it's coming back with a definitive answer, you're going to treat that as advice. And that's the main issue here. The chatbot gives the impression that it provides advice. When the advice is wrong, that's when there's a problem. And with 80,000 pages of information, you would think that this chatbot knows this stuff, but it really doesn't. So what has the bot actually been getting wrong? Well, I spent hours heavily grilling this bot. I asked him or her, I've not quite worked it out yet, but I asked it whether £1,000 pay rise taking my income from £99,000 up to £100,000 would affect my ability to get tax-free childcare. And the bot said, no, that's all good. The scheme has no upper limit, which is completely wrong. Because once your income hits £100,000, you lose access to tax-free childcare entirely. Now, this is a topic that's come under quite a bit of stick recently in the UK tax system because it can catch people off guard. A £1,000 pay rise at that level can effectively cost a family thousands of pounds in lost childcare support. So when a government chatbot says, no, that's all good, you take the pay rise, and it makes a tax-paying UK family thousands of pounds worse off, how is that not a massive issue? I also asked the bot whether I need to tell HMRC and pay tax if I sold 2 MacBooks on eBay for £1,300. And the bot said it would depend on whether the profit was subject to capital gains tax. Again, on the surface, this might sound pretty reasonable, especially to someone who isn't an accountant or a tax expert themselves, but it's completely wrong. Personal possessions like laptops, phones, or furniture that sell for under £6,000 are exempt from capital gains tax. A MacBook is not a capital asset. It's a personal possession. The bot has provided completely false information that would confuse the person using it by mentioning capital gains tax at all. Most people using the bot and getting that information would have ended up either stressing about filing the return or worse, filing something and paying tax on something they didn't need to. So why is this dangerous? Doesn't everyone know not to trust AI and everything that it says? Well, I can almost guarantee everyone watching this video has used ChatGPT and taken what it has said for the truth. So why would a government chatbot be any different? Surely we should trust it more because it's from the government. In reality, taxes are confusing. So when people are searching for tax information, they're already a bit lost. They don't know the rules, and that's why they're searching. They're looking for an answer and they're not in a position to spot when the answer that they're getting is wrong. And when you're on the same website that you go to file your tax return, renew your passport, or apply for benefits, it carries a weight of authority that almost nothing else does. And if it's on the government website, then people assume that it's right, which is completely understandable, and this is exactly what makes a confident but wrong answer so dangerous here. Another reason why this bot is so dangerous is because it's not giving a vague answer. It didn't say, this depends on your circumstances, please check with a professional. It gave a direct, confident response that's completely wrong. So what should you do? Well, you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's fine, I just won't use the bot at all. That's not really what I'm saying. For certain things, it will probably be fine. If you want to know where the self-assessment deadline is or where to find a specific form, the danger isn't really in those kind of questions. Where it gets risky is the moment your question involves a threshold, a personal circumstance, or anything where the answer can change depending on your situation. Income limits, allowances, what counts as taxable, whether something needs to go on a return, that's where the nuance lives. A nuance is exactly what this chatbot has already shown that it struggles with. The £100,000 childcare threshold is a perfect example of this. It's not that the bot gave a completely made up answer. Tax free childcare does exist. The scheme is real, but it missed one critical detail that completely changes the outcome for that person. And that's the pattern to watch for. Answers that are mostly right, but missing that one thing that actually matters to your specific situation. The government built this to make tax information more accessible, and that's a genuinely good intention. But accessible information that's wrong isn't helpful. It's just a more efficient way of getting the wrong answer. So here's what I'd suggest. Use it like you'd use Google. Have a search and then compare it to a few different other places or websites. If the answer you get is going to influence something you're going to put on a tax return, then make sure to get it verified. Whether that's cross-referencing on the actual HMRC guidance pages or speaking to an accountant, don't let a chatbot be the reason that you get yourself a fine from HMRC, because that money is going straight into their pocket. Let's say you spend a couple of £100 on an accountant to do your tax return. That could easily save you getting a fine for the same amount. Not to mention the peace of mind that you'll get by letting the accountant handle everything. Plus, I can almost guarantee that you will pay less tax by getting a professional to do it. If you're sat there even more confused than ever on what to believe and are sick of talking to robots and want to talk to an actual human, then head over to the link in the description box below where you can work with me for anything tax related. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'll be 90% accurate, as I hope that will be more than that. But what I can offer is a money back guarantee. If you're not happy with my service, then I'll give you a refund, no questions asked.